It is an aircraft with a special livery that, however, was rather short-lived. What's that all about, and if the model is worth getting? Well, we'll find out after the drop. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-200ER of British Airways. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside. Underneath that we have the British Airways branding. The back side of the box, well, that is the standard box design of Sky 500, which is definitely not that exciting, however still way better than the standard Harper Wings box design. And here she is, the Boeing 777-200ER in the standard livery of British Airways, however with a little addition of a Panda face. And what's that about? Well, British Airways announced in 2013 a new route to Chengdu in China, and to celebrate that new route, the airline decided to add a Panda face to one of their 777-200ERs. But as mentioned, the livery itself was actually rather short-lived. In fact, it only lasted from the end of September 2013 till beginning 2014. And it was in 2014 when Sky 500 decided to make this aircraft model. So now let us take a closer look to see what it actually has to offer. And we start off with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the British Airways branding. On top of that we have the last two letters of the registration code. We do also have some detailing on top of the horizontal stabilizer, and on the fuselage we find the logo of the British Royal Mail and the full registration code of the aircraft, as well as a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust towards the tail of the aircraft. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the writing of British Airways and the British Airways branding, as well as some small One World logos next to the cabin doors, as British Airways obviously is a member of One World. The cockpit section itself, well, has the cockpit windows with the window wipers and the last three letters of the registration code above the cockpit windows, and then of course the addition of the Panda face. The engine nacelles have been given the same dark blue color that we also find on the belly of the aircraft, and the silver leading edge has been printed on as well, but no other details have been printed on here, which is rather disappointing. The physical detailing, however, is, I think, rather good. For example, here when we look into the engines from the front, we can very nicely see the engine fan blades. But let us move on to the wings to see what they actually have to offer. And if we start off with the top side, we can see the different flap slats and spoilers have been carved out rather nicely. And we also have the markings as to where to walk on the wings. Also, the underside does look rather nice. Here we also have the full registration code of the aircraft once again, but my highlight on the wings is that Sky 500 has added the landing lights. And then we can also quickly look at the landing gear, which however is not nearly as refined as with Harper Wings or other manufacturers, which is rather disappointing. The wheels are rolling, but I've mentioned it before, I'm not a huge fan of that, as I am afraid that the pins will one day break and therefore ruin the landing gear. But it's not all bad news, because at least Sky 500 has added some printed details to the front landing gear. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 777-200ER in the standard livery of British Airways, with the addition of the Panda face from Sky 500 and very surprisingly in Scale 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? It's definitely a bit back and forth for me with this aircraft model. The print quality itself is very good, and it has way more details as a standard compared to an equivalent model from Harper Wings from the same time period. The physical detailing overall is very good as well. The only thing I would mention here is simply the landing gear, that I think could definitely have needed a little bit more work when it comes to the physical detailing, because obviously, as I mentioned, the front landing gear does actually have some printed details, something that Harper to this day still can't be bothered with. So if you can live with the landing gear and find this little addition to the livery just as curious and interesting as me, then I would say yes, absolutely, the aircraft model is worth having in one's collection. And with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.